It's go time.
I want to roll right into it.
Oh no.
The fitness industry.
It's the fitness industry, like as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I actually did research on this.
You did?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be not serious.
Not
that serious.
No, so I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. You know that whenever you're working and I'm not working. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Shut up. No.
Stay-at-home stepdad or whatever.
Dog dad.
Stay-at-home dog dad. That's why Fletcher likes me more. Yeah, so I've worked in the fitness industry for a while, and I've seen some cool stuff and some not so cool stuff.
I can imagine.
But there's something recently that I don't know if it's just because it's part of my algorithm or like everybody who I follow like is in the industry. But there's this feud going on with people who train based on science, like the science-based lifters.
Yeah.
And people who just train, like go in, smash weights and like meathead mentality. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts
That's
first.
not my algorithm. So what are we feuding about?
So basically, you have these...
Clearly, I'm not feuding about anything because I had no idea this was happening.
Most of like the meathead mentality people, they seem to be a little older. There's a few that are younger. And they get upset about these science-based guys because they're not as big as them, and like there's like the science-based lifters are saying like you have to train this way, like you have to have a certain amount of time under tension or RPE, and they're feuding because like one thinks that you just should not worry about like the science or like focusing so much on like numbers,
okay,
while the other one is like, no, this is how you do it, it's science-based, like. And like they're legit. It's like petty rivalry.
I personally think that there isn't a right answer. I think the answer is that there isn't no there ain't no answer.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Okay, no, I feel like there doesn't need to be a right answer. I think that if your thing is going in and just fucking smashing a ton of weights, like, then that can be your thing. But if it's in people's interest to go in based on science and, like, do their thing based on, like, what they know to be true, based on factual things, then, like, that's cool. I don't know why anybody needs to feud about anything, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't fucking like running marathons, but I'm not going to feud with a marathon runner and say that what they do is stupid.
Right.
I think I guess what are they like arguing over? Like, what's the end? Are you saying
for the most part, from what I see, it's like just bodybuilding in general.
Okay, bodybuilding.
So like to increase muscle mass.
To look a certain way, what is the best way to train?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but even then, like, I know, like, nobody's bodybuilding style is ever going to look the same for anybody. So I don't feel like there has to be a right or wrong answer. Like, everybody's going to train the way that works best for them. So I feel like there doesn't have to be a right or wrong answer. Like, I don't know. You're looking at me like you don't want me to say that.
No, I'm smiling because I agree with you. And it's funny because you have these blockheads who are just like, if you're looking at it from the outside in, it's quite hilarious because they all seem like they're 13-year-old boys just like out on the playground fighting over some random bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I preach this when I train. There's, like you said, there's no one way to approach training or nutrition or supplements or anything. Everybody's their own individual person. Everybody's body reacts differently. So personally, I think if you are 100% science-based or if you're 100%, let's just call it meathead mentality, I think that's the wrong approach. I think you should be a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm trying to get at. And what I find funny, I was born and raised in the bodybuilding competitive side as a science-based lifter. My first coach was like strictly science-based, and like he's jacked, like he's bigger than I am right now. So to say that science-based, like there aren't people who are huge who are science-based lifters is like absurd because they're out there. But as time went on, like I realized, barbell squats help me. They help me grow my legs. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, like I still need to keep that foundation of like the rep ranges, like the time under tension.
Mm-hmm.
But there's moments where like, okay, I want to go in and I want to just smash some weights.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
And to think like, or for like a meathead mentality guy to say like, science-based lifting is not a way to go, not the way to go. Like you're wrong. Like if you're training in a meathead mentality and you're saying, I'm going to stick around 8 to 12 reps, like I hate to break it to you, but that's science-based.
That's what I was kind of like gonna say is that anything you're doing in the gym, I mean, ultimately comes down to being science-based.
And physics and like the momentum of an arm swinging on a machine. And so I'll break down. Do you know how like the 8 to 12 rep range for hypertrophy training came into play? Do you know where that comes from?
No.
Time under tension. So the body basically has 3 energy systems, and man, I wish I could remember like the scientific breakdown because this is a majority of what I studied in college, and this is proof that college is bullshit because I can't remember it. But basically, your body keeping that time under tension for about 1.5 minutes is that window for hypertrophy. And if you break that down into a specific rep, it's supposed to be a 3-second negative, a 1-second pause, and 2 seconds out. Mm-hmm. So if you map that out, that's 6 seconds per rep. And then 8 to 12 reps comes out to about 1.5 minutes. So it's 1.5 minutes of time under tension.
Got it.
So that's how they came up with that window. Science-based.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the type of guy that you want to go in and just smash weights because you're a meathead, and you're going in and you're doing dumbbell bench press, but you're sticking between that 8 to 12 rep range.
Yeah.
Science-based.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know why there has to be an argument, for the mere fact that, like, everybody, I mean, I think it just comes down to doing what works for you. If you can get a physique by doing one way or the other, then, like, great, be a meathead or strictly follow science-based. But, like, I don't even understand the difference really because it's like I think everybody ultimately like I think the meathead mentality is just like a hard work, like a work hard, fucking enjoying, like pushing yourself, you know. And I would argue that like if you're in the bodybuilding industry, like you should be that also, you know. So it's like just because you're science based doesn't mean you don't have that meathead mentality.
Sure.
Like I think at the end of the day, you're just like pushing yourself to a higher weight to do it in that rep range. Mm-hmm. You're not going in and like one maxing out like power lifters. Like it's a different, I mean, I think if you have the meathead mentality, then like maybe be a power lifter, like, or just, you know what I mean? Like a true meathead mentality, I wouldn't consider.
It's different for everybody too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that you can't even really like put a definition to, but I think if you're a bodybuilder, for the most part, you're science based, like because that's like the foundation of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But I would stereotype more like powerlifters as that meathead mentality because that truly is what that is. Like you're going in,
and you've done powerlifting before.
Yeah. Yeah, and not well. I've shown
Regardless,
up.
I've been bodybuilding not well, but
I mean, not well, but I didn't know what the frick I was doing. But no, that's definitely like my training styles were completely different. Like I went in, I spent an hour deadlifting and just trying to get one max reps. Like it, I mean, obviously the training days look different, but like the training style is completely different for the sports. And I would ultimately say that powerlifting is more that meathead mentality. And I think if you're doing anything bodybuilding related, like you're building the body, like that is science.
Yeah.
Like that's not something you can just like ignore.
yeah. And I'm not trying to argue the fact that science-based is superior to meathead mentality. Like
No, I think that
it should be a mixture of
I think
both.
they coincide.
Yeah.
I think people are ignoring the fact that they coincide.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
whether they realize it or not, like they're not two separate things. They're one thing.
Yeah, and like right now it seems just like two frat houses that are like going against each other. And in reality, like it should be like a Disney movie where at the end of the movie they're like, oh, we both have similar interests, like we can hug it out. And that's never going to happen. And I want to touch on that here in a minute. But like I said, I'm not trying to like say science-based is the best. I'm not trying to say meathead mentality is the best. But
I think it's more the same than people think they are.
yeah, exactly. Now, this is something that, because I've worked in the industry, I would say for at least 10 years now, going back to when I started personal training when I was in college. And this is something I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast. He had Jordan. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is? Mm-hmm. Have you heard of Jordan Peterson? So Jordan Peterson is like some renowned doctor now. I think he's a psychiatrist or something. But he started his own school. He does. You'll have to look him up, but that's beside the point. Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson were talking about this. So I'm going to start, and it's going to sound weird, but I'll get to the point. Like when your body's decomposing, you have like pests that come in and they're trying to take over, and like parasites come in, like they take over the carcass, and like they basically are trying to like take over that biological form, like a dead whale. Like they basically just try to take it over. And the human body recognized that in the early years of humanity, and sex evolved to where when we reproduce, 50% of our DNA is altered, so the parasites don't do that. So like if our bodies didn't do that, we would basically already be extinct because parasites would have wiped us out. So as we've reproduced throughout the years, we've learned, like our biology has learned, okay, 50% of our DNA needs to change so we don't get wiped out by these parasites. So taking that, and they started focusing more on social issues and like the government and businesses and stuff like that. The same thing happens in different aspects outside of biology. So the fitness industry, for example, or business, for example, marketing. You'll notice throughout the years that marketing has had to adapt because they've had people come in and try to basically, these intellectuals come in and try to like take over. So the intelligent people recognize that and they adapt, and that's how marketing kind of evolves. So I'm going to try to roll it back around to what we were talking about before with the fitness industry. What I've noticed in the past 10 years is I've seen people come in, and I'm not calling them not intelligent people. I'm not calling them intellects, but I think that's kind of what is happening is you're seeing more of these parasites coming into an industry and trying to basically take it over, and the fitness industry doesn't know how to adapt. So I think something needs to change for the progress of fitness and health and wellness to keep progressing from the bodybuilding and competitive standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I'm not super educated on this topic because I'm literally new AF to the industry. So
Have you noticed that with any like other industries that you like with like spa services and stuff like that? Because you go to a lot of conferences and
yeah. I think adapting with time is every industry. And I think it's just not even the people coming into it, but just the times changing in general. I think every industry changes and has to evolve with a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, obviously, as time goes on, especially, if I'm thinking of aesthetics in general, or the beauty industry, I guess, so much has changed in terms of, obviously, technology changes. I think that it's booming in terms of education. People are talking about it more. Which social media is weird when it comes to the beauty industry because, everybody thinks that they know everything about skincare. And then now you have people buying at home, face rollers and just crazy stuff. It's been this big thing that you got 9-year-olds going into Sephora buying $200 fucking moisturizers, and Berkeley will never, for starters. I didn't touch makeup till I was 22.
you say that now.
No, she cannot do that. But no, I think that's just crazy because when I was younger, skincare and makeup and shit like that weren't talked about,
Yeah.
And obviously, I think the common denominator for every industry evolving or having to evolve is social media.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Actually, I just was thinking about that because, that's why that wasn't big to me because, nobody was online, looking at all the things.
Yeah.
There wasn't influencing. There wasn't any of that, when I was younger. So, I think the social media platform or all social media platforms are the biggest reason for having to evolve because it's how information gets around. It's how we target people, how companies target people. It's how education is a thing. I don't know, social media is
and
crazy.
All aspects of business from the service industry side to the the product side. Social media is basically taken over to where that's the main form of marketing and advertising.
The only form of marketing.
Yeah. Billboards are becoming non-existent. Television ads they're not really a thing anymore. You'll see ads on YouTube is basically social media now.
Yeah.
Spotify, you'll get ads and stuff like that occasionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more influencer social media stuff. But do you think that these types of platforms are going to survive? So if you look back to 10 years ago, you look back to 15 years ago, MySpace was thriving. Did you have a MySpace?
I miss MySpace. I actually I think I tried logging into mine 2 months ago. And I don't even know what email it was.
I wish it would come back. Come on, Tom, bring back MySpace.
I love MySpace. Hashtag bring MySpace back.
But we had MySpace 15 years ago, roundabout. Facebook right after that. Instagram, and now TikTok. But we were talking about this on our call with Iron Rebel. Is you're starting to see these from a business standpoint. The advertising and marketing is switching to TikTok because TikTok has perfected working with influencers. Like as a business, the amount of information I can find on the back end of TikTok makes it so easy that I feel stupid that we haven't used it as much. And like it's streamlined
Yeah.
for influencer marketing. So, and when did TikTok launch? Like 3 years ago?
I don't even know, to be honest with you. But yeah, probably about that.
And it's I would say now it's the main driver for a lot of new businesses, and the amount of money some of these influencers are making, because I can see, like, as a business you can log in and see it recommends influencers for you, and it shows you their analytics and it shows you their monthly income. Some of these people are making 6 figures
Yeah. Well,
as an individual posting videos. It's
Yeah.
absurd. But my question is, do you think that like TikTok is going to survive, like, or do you think it's going to evolve?
you know, it's a hard saying because, I mean, obviously, like, social media platforms do evolve, but I have a hard time. I think eventually, like, all social media platforms, like, will phase out eventually. Like, there's always, like, another platform that, like, comes and then takes over and builds and whatever. But it's also weird for me to say because when I was younger, like, yeah, you had MySpace and then, like, Twitter or X or whatever the hell, like, that was popular. And I think people still use it quite a bit. I can't tell you the last time I even looked at that app. I don't even know if I have it on my phone.
I don't know.
But those are really the only two. And then you had, what the hell app was it? It was like TikTok.
Vine. Yeah.
I never had Vine. But
Vine, I liked Vine because it was just content. It wasn't advertisements or anything like that.
see, but that's how TikTok used to be. And
I know,
it was
yeah.
like fun. Like I, as a consumer, it's weird because I'm like both.
Yeah.
I'm like on both ends of the, like, I don't know, like both sides because like I don't use TikTok for influencing. Like I have maybe like tried pushing a couple of Wrath teas, but like,
Which it worked.
yeah.
The one, like you did it for one tea and the tea sold out within a week.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's my own fault. Maybe I should be pushing it.
Well, I mean, you have 100 different things going on.
Yeah.
Continue.
But like, I think everything like just gets to be too salesy, and I miss just like being able to like go on and like watch some videos like and enjoy just like a good laugh or like learning things or maybe not learning the right things. I don't know, but just like entertainment, right? Like I don't want to go on and now every single thing that I'm watching and like you can tell that there's no authenticity behind it. And I think that's what makes me the most mad is because people like literally are doing it just to make the money. So it's like, you have to buy this. Like, this is the best thing ever. And like, there's literally no personality behind it. They're literally just going on and posting a product and saying like, go buy this.
Yeah.
And I'm way more drawn to content that's like, okay, show me like what it does or show me like, besides you just coming out and talk about a product, like I'm more prone to buy like fitness apparel if I'm like watching a workout video and I see fitness apparel that I like.
Yep.
Than if I'm like just seeing somebody like posing the camera and they're like, you should buy this.
Well, I think it's a conundrum though, right? Because these people, like what's going to catch your eye is somebody who has good production of content. They know how to shoot, they know how to edit, they know what filters to use. But that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
And time is money with a lot of people. So like if you're wanting to find those people who are creating that type of content, I think one of their drives to do that is the money, right? Because like you said, like I said, time is money, and if they're producing that, they need to be able to afford to do it.
Right.
Even to the, like, I think it's to the point now, I think the American dream is completely different than it was 100 years ago.
It is.
I think it's completely different than it was 20 years ago. Honestly, from my perspective, the American dream right now is to get paid to do social media. Like, it sounds absurd, but the amount of time that people spend on social media, the amount of people who are on social media, and if you get paid to only pursue social media, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but in reality, if you were getting paid to shoot a video and take some photos every day of you using products that you use, supposedly, and that's all you do, and you get paid 6+ figures to do that, that's what people want now.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm right, or do you think
No,
I'm
I think you're right. I think that's what makes content creation and like the industry so hard right now, I think, is because I think it is a money game for everybody. And I think going back to the American dream, I just think that the American dream is just like really non-existent anymore and it's completely unattainable.
Right.
It's not even like realistic. There's not really an American dream. But when it comes to how easy, easy is not the word I want to use. Let's backtrack that because I'm going to get attacked for saying that content creation is easy because it's not. I'm not saying that at all because I do that and it is way time consuming. But I think what makes the content creation aspect of things difficult when it comes to like throwing money in the mix is like that's when content is just being made for money and made for content purposes. And people are getting false information. They're looking up to people that aren't portraying reality. They're like bending facts. They're like literally doing things that are just going to get them a paycheck and like saying things that are going to make them the most money when it's not real. And like you're giving people out like information that they're trusting you with, you know? And I think that's what's so frustrating to me with the fitness industry and content creation in general right now is it's a really hard place to be as somebody who isn't like that. And like I genuinely, like I would love to get paid to make content all day, every day. But like not at the expense of my authenticity. But like that's not how people are. And it's frustrating as someone with that mentality because it's hard getting brand deals and it's hard getting people to want to work with you when like you're more that
Well, yeah, I think
way.
it's about efficiency on both ends. So like these content creators who are just saying like, hey guys, try this product. It tastes amazing and it works great. And they've never tried it, but they're getting paid a quick $500 to say that. Like that's quick money. And the same thing from a business aspect. Like if I could call up Joe Schmo and be like, hey, I need a YouTube video that's 30 minutes long. And I need you to make 10 reels with this product and I'll pay you $500 to do that, and like they deliver within a couple of days. Like businesses do that all the time. Like,
No, I know.
and so on both ends, it's like how quickly can we get the content made? Who cares if what they're saying is a product that they use or true?
Yeah, and that's what's hard though, because like as a content creator and as like a viewer, you know, it's hard because you don't ever know like when people are being real. And I don't think you'll ever know because like obviously that's not portrayed and that's never going to be like just told. But I think it's really frustrating as someone who's like trying to play both roles because I get it from all sides. Like I get wanting to make the most money doing what you do. I understand that. But like to me it's not worth going on and like lying to people about things like that because at the end of the day people are trusting my name, they're trusting the products that I recommend. And like that just makes me feel like grimy. Like I don't like that feel. But like I wish people would find a way to like, because there is a way to be both things. Like find products you actually like and like push those products. I think they're like, you can make money pushing products that work. You can make money pushing products that you like. I don't think you should be I don't think you should have to force yourself to like something or force yourself to say you like something to make the content and deliver content. But people are never going to say no to money. So like, that's the hardest thing. I won't ever, like if I have a company reach out to me and it's a product that I like, either A, can't find a way to use it, I don't use it, I don't like it, or I tried and I don't like it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I would love if you guys tried this product because it's my favorite XYZ. Like, I don't have that in me. But a lot of influencers do. And I think that's why, like, I don't know, I'm picky about like what I say yes to, and it's frustrating for me because like I see other influencers like getting these brand deals, and I'm like, gosh, why am I not getting XYZ, and why am I not able to work with XYZ? And I think like at the end of the day, it sucks sometimes because it's like, yeah, I do want to work with these brands, but it's like I'm also not willing to give up like a part of who I am and like my morality because it's not worth it to me. But I think the content that people want anymore is also just like not what I am into.
What do you mean?
Like,
I want to hear this.
I just like, I get, with the fitness industry in particular, I could be talking about like a lot of different things, but like I obviously am drawn to like the fitness industry. And I think content creation is just like gotten so absurd with what people like to see and like what people are taking in, I guess. I don't really know how to like put it into words, but all I see, like my algorithm is literally girls going in the freaking gym, twerking during their workouts, literally placing the camera in the most absurd ways so that they can like get some clout or like whatever. Like if you want like to find an angle that makes your ass look big, like do you, boo. But like the whole like jumping down from the pull-up bar in slow motion so that like, I don't know, people are just like literally, it's just like sexualizing gym content anymore, and it's so frustrating because because that's what gets the most views. Like people out here are crazy. And like for real though, and like brands see obviously people's views and they see their engagement and they see that, and it's like, okay, but they're not taking into consideration like what kind of engagement it is. Like they just like engagement, right?
Yeah, like there's one chick who you met who was a like really rude person. I'm not going to mention her name.
Yeah, we won't say names.
If you go through her comments, like clearly her followers are just like thirsty dudes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to buy like the shorts that she's wearing.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy the...
Right. Like that's not...
The sports bra.
100%. But yeah, but brands see the follower count and they see that she's getting engagement. It doesn't matter what type of engagement. Like if I was a brand, I would be like, I don't really like this image. Like I don't like the image that's being portrayed.
Yeah.
But that's crazy because like at that point, like brands are literally just wanting exposure and they don't care at what expense. And I think that's a lot of brands anymore.
Most. Not the ones that I work with.
Yeah. What?
Not the ones I work with.
What do you mean?
I mean, so from the opposite side, as like an athlete manager, the first thing I do is send, like, if there's a contracted athlete, if somebody who we want to make as a contracted athlete, somebody who we're going to pay, not like at an affiliate so much where like they can order product whenever they want with a code or whatever. A contracted athlete who's going to be more of a face of a company, the first thing I do is send them products. Mm-hmm. And I say, hey, before we get into any numbers, I want you to try the products and to see if you like it. Because if you don't like it, I'm not moving forward with you. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but like even then, even if they didn't like it, like they could still tell you that they do just because they see potential and money in working with a brand, you know? And that might be like, to some people might even be subconscious. Like some people might not even realize they're doing it
Yeah.
because they literally just see dollar signs.
Yeah, it's like the hype of a new flavor of something.
Like you're talking yourself into liking it.
Yeah.
And
Like,
because
oh, this tastes so good. And in the back of your head, you're like, this tastes so good because I'm getting a couple $1,000 out of it.
yeah, for sure. And I just had a train of thought and I lost it.
I think, so you think content creation is going in like a negative aspect in the fitness industry.
100%.
So we can take that back to what I was talking about before when the parasites come in, and in this aspect, the parasites are just trying to get as much money as they want.
Yeah, I think.
And there needs to be, like, for the people who actually care about the content and the value that is being put out, they need to recognize that and they need to figure out a way to change it, or it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to the responsibility of brands.
For sure.
I think it comes down to the responsibility of
The people paying these people.
the people paying these people, absolutely, because it's like, look at who you're paying to like represent your brand, and it's crazy to me that it's not taken more seriously to people than it is, because it's causing brands to lose their identity. It's causing brands to lose their, we could talk about that for days. It's causing people to lose their identity. I think it's just truly like everybody out to do the same thing. It's just gotten all so mainstream that like I wouldn't know if you put like content next to each other and took the branding off of clothes. Like I wouldn't know the difference between an Alpha Elite girl and a Gymshark girl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, like, they're all doing the same things. This is no hate to my gym girls. But like it's just like, if I see a brand, I want to be like, and I think Wrath does a good job of this. I think people can see Wrath content and be like, that's Wrath. Like,
Yeah.
people see us walking around the Arnold and they're like,
They're probably with
they're
Wrath.
scary. They're probably with
Yeah.
Wrath.
That's something that we're never, like, our identity is what makes our brand.
And that's what, like, I can tell you so many brands that, like, when I first got into content, I was like, I want to work with them. Like, I want to work with them so bad. And now I can't even think of a brand that I really want to work with, because I can think of like one or two
Besides
brands.
Rain.
Huh?
Rain.
Yeah, Rain. I love you. You should love me back. No, I think I can think of maybe, and this is in terms of like clothing mainly. I can think of like maybe two brands that I look at them, maybe three, like brands that I can look at them and be like, okay, they actually like stand for something.
Yeah.
Well,
the one you are with now, Fear the Lamb, is
Fear the Lamb is amazing. Yeah, like, and they're never gonna change. Like,
Yeah.
they have a vision, they have a purpose, they know what they stand behind. And I think their mission is a lot different, because it's like, you're not gonna veer from that, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot different from like or a lot harder for a Fear the Lamb mentality of a company to like fall into the trap of the mainstream society.
Because as soon as they do that, you're gonna realize like that's not what they're
It wouldn't be Fear the
supposed to
Lamb.
do. Like,
Yeah.
if they were to do like a collab with like Mickey Mouse,
Yeah.
you'd be like, that's not right.
Yeah. And like,
You were just posting some OnlyFans. That's a different story.
yeah, that's a whole other story. But like, truly, I think that's how all brands should be. And I can think of like, I can count them on my one hand of like brands that I can see their content. And if you took their logo off of it, I would know exactly what brand that is.
Yep.
Because they're different. And like, there are people, like there are a couple brands that like are different and I could tell you their stuff, but like they're losing sight of like why they started, and
Yeah.
you can tell like they're just like trying to do the most, and it becomes just like a competition of like who can be the most basic,
Yeah.
which is so frustrating because I don't know, like I said when I started, it was like I just admired like all of these companies because they had such cool like missions and such cool like stories, like what made them them. And then all of a sudden, like you blink and not even 5 years later, I'm like, what is this? Like, what is everybody? And
Yeah.
it's crazy to me that, again, like as companies, they're willing to sacrifice that for money. And it's literally just a chase. Like, it's all about the chase of money.
Yeah. And history shows that those companies don't survive.
Yeah.
Like, we could list 5 companies right now who have kept the same, for the most part, the same mission since day one. Nike, for the most part. I mean, they might have strayed off the path for like a short amount of time or whatever, but everybody knows the story about Nike, Apple, Amazon.
You're just talking about companies.
I'm just companies in general, yeah. I mean, and you could say like Adidas, like all the big name brands have kept like their core values throughout their entire existence. And they didn't, go into year 5 and we're like, all right, time to make some Spider-Man tees. Like,
Endless Spider-Man tees.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think like at that point too, when you get companies that are like just trying to like spew out products like way too fast, it's like it's overwhelming as a consumer.
Yep.
Like I think products are great. Like it's good to like keep pushing out products, but it's also better to like build hype around product. Like it's so much more fun as a consumer to be like waiting for like a drop.
Yeah.
Right? Like not like, oh my God, another drop. Like,
and I think that's why I was attracted to the Baileys so much when they like started Flag back in the day and like through the years, is because like they were so great at storytelling. And like when we're trying to plan, 100%. And like I've tried to adapt that with Wrath, and like we've been trying to like uptick our releases and do more frequent releases. And I've had the mentality of like, okay, if we can't tell a story behind this release, and that's not like just like a Wrath logo tee, if we can't put some type of story behind it, and Pete has been good about like making sure that we stay on top of that too, then it's not worth it. Because like after we post this up, like we're doing a Workhorse release, and we're going to be doing a Western style tee. And like, if I can't, and I can, if I could not relate that back to like the story that I had with Workhorse and like how I'm involved with Wrath, it would not be worth it for me. I would just like, I like the tee, I would just sell it myself. But like, if we can't tell the story, and if you're a brand and you can't tell a story on your products, then you need to like sit down and rethink on what you're doing. Because like I said, if we were to be like, okay, let's release a Batman t-shirt, what type of story are we going to tell about that?
the story you're going to tell is that you're literally doing it because there are people out there that like Batman, and you just want to reach more people and you want to make more money, and that's it.
Exactly.
And you don't give a shit about why you started.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. It frustrates me. Can you tell? Like, it just drives me crazy because I just don't understand, like, why, as a business, as a content creator, as a business owner, like, literally as anybody, like, why, like, yes, everybody wants money, but, like, I don't understand why at any point that would be worth, like, losing sight of, like, your why and your reason and your, like, authenticity, again, like it all, like your core values. Like at what point is that worth it? Like, because to me it's not. Like at some point you're gonna realize that like you're so lost in like trying to keep up with everything else that you like are so like you're so far gone to like why you even started in the first place. And that's where you get burnt out. That's where you like phase out.
Yeah.
It's where it's gonna like not become like happiness anymore. It just becomes like a chore, you know, because it's like you need a story. Like I would never do something that I wasn't passionate about or like push something that I wasn't passionate about or even allow my brand to like get to a point where it wasn't portraying who I am or who I wanted to portray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me that the industry in general has just like strayed so far from that because like I won't even like even the companies that I do work for, I'm like, okay, I need content, but like how can I make this content look not like I want it to be authentic, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm not gonna sit in a gym with a tub of protein.
You're right. Nobody takes their protein and sits on a bench.
No, I take my protein at home or in the mornings at my counter. Like I would post a picture by my counter before I'd post a picture in the gym next to a tub of protein. Like stress
same thing
me
with
out.
like literally any product. Nobody takes pre-workout while they're about to do bench press.
Exactly. Like yeah, take a picture of you taking it in your car. Like dry scoop a bitch. I don't care. But like this shit at a gym. Like you're not doing that.
Yep.
I don't know. So like I'm pretty like set in stone about like not forcing things. Like I don't know. Like
so you're not gonna plan like, hey, like if a company, if One Up reaches out to you or if like something for Wrath or whatever, we need a product. Like if we need protein shot, Katie, I need you to get a photo of you with protein, or I need you to post something with you using the protein. Like you're not gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna take it to the gym with me and set it up here. Like you're literally gonna set like you're gonna have it while you're taking it. And I've seen you do it. Like when you have your protein out on the counter, and you're scooping it into your rice, like that's when you take the photos.
I have to preface with the fact that I had to do this wrong to learn to be this way because I did used to like force my content like that.
Yep.
And I think it's what caused me to like lose who I was. I went down into like this deep dark hole of like trying so hard to be somebody I wasn't.
Yep.
And it like turned me into somebody I wasn't. And so I think that's why I feel so strongly about it is because I don't think people even realize like how much they're losing sight of who they are because they're so like caught up in just like all of the things.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm so like dead set on like the authenticity part of it because it's like if you lose that, then like what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
You know? So but again, like I had to learn that the hard way. Like I don't think it'll be until people crash out and burn or like I don't know, get to a place in their life where they're like, oh, it turns out this is not fulfilling me. Turns out this money isn't worth it. Because like at the end of the day, it's not. And like if you scroll back on my Instagram long enough to where I worked with Dragon, like my content creation, like my content was like super strict. Like I had like really strict things I had to do. So like I did roll up to like I didn't go to like a public gym, but like I did just pose with my freaking protein powders, but also in a very like
which
Katie,
checks out with Dragon Pharma type of content.
Totally, but I also did it in very Katie fashion. Like I was like fucking juggling it and shit. Like it was like not normal people content. What?
Not that serious.
It wasn't. It's never that serious. But no, I do. I think that a lot of people will realize that at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And if people are doing what they're doing, then it's because they haven't realized that yet, and that they're chasing something that ultimately, at the end of the day, like doesn't really matter.
Yep. Because it doesn't.
Because it doesn't, and it's just not that serious, you know.
Yeah.
No, content creation's hard. It's hard because I'm not to the point where I would like ever consider myself an influencer. I know that people like see my following and like think that
But-
you would consider like that I should or maybe could, but I don't. I see myself way more as a consumer than I do an influencer. Because like I'm not really like purposely trying to influence people. I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I think I just like have.
I think I'm not a fan of the word influencer.
I'm not either.
I think
I don't ever use it. I like the word content creator.
like a very retro word would be spokesperson. So like
You would use that word.
you speak on the products that you like.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, and I think that comes down to everything that I do, you know, like posting just about life in general. Like, I don't do anything that's forced. I just like live my life and I like post it. I post it more than like someone who doesn't create content would post, but it's nothing that I like go out of my way to do per se. You know what I mean? Like, we do stuff like this, but again, it's like literally us just like sharing our lives and like talking and doing all the things. It's not something that I'm like, oh darn, like I have to go pretend to like this product. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. Content creation is just weird anymore, and it's really hard because as somebody who like isn't. Did you just see him? What was he doing?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I don't know. It's really hard as someone who is like trying to maintain like old fitness industry or like what I want fitness industry to be.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who like wants it to be that so much, surrounded by a bunch of people that just don't.
Yep.
And it's hard.
It is.
It's hard because I don't know if it'll like get back to that point. I don't know if it'll ever like find its way back to like fitness.
I think just based off of how things have adapted through the past 5 to 8 years, I think Instagram will eventually go back to that. Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I think TikTok will start to evolve into what Instagram is now, and something else is going to come out that's going to be more TikTok-y. It's like the primary platform that is really advertising, like advertisement based, marketing based, because at the end of the day, it's all about money with these platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So just like how Facebook has gone back to, because Facebook was really heavy on advertisements for a while. Then they still are to an extent, but like when I scroll through Facebook once every month, it's like just old people posting, you know, what they thought while they were drinking their coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Which is refreshing at times.
Whose dog is barking this morning? Somebody shut that dog up. Can you believe there's not a 4-way stop at this intersection?
Exactly, yeah.
Jesus, Murphy.
Like, all right, Phyllis. So I think Instagram will, I would like to hope that it will get back to the way it was. And for those people who actually care about the content, and they'll stick around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think ultimately it's going to come down to, or content creation will be the same, but the brands around it will just change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think right now, which obviously will be a thing, like there's obviously always going to be like up and coming brands or like whatever, but I think all of the like 5 of the big brands that are like all the same right now in the fitness industry, all competing to be the same. I think they're all just gonna like phase out and get sick of like feuding over being basic and nothing.
Yeah.
Because again, like, because at the end of the day, like, how do you continue to push something that has no meaning?
Yep.
I think that you can only do that for so long.
Well, you saw that on the supplement side too. Like back in the day, it was Cellucor, BSN, Muscle Farm, there was a couple other brands, Dymatize. Those were the big brands, and like Cellucor evolved, and Cellucor is C4. Like that's their main product. Like they still have the other products. We were on the website the other day, but like C4 cans are everywhere. BSN disappeared for a while, and they used to have like the biggest athlete team back in the day. They had Dallas McCarver, Flex Lewis. I can't remember who else was on the team, but like when you went to the Arnold, the BSN booth was like the booth to go to. And they disappeared for a while, and they eventually came back because they started leaning into that more. They started hiring on the athletes and trying to get back into the expos. Muscle Farm, I have no idea where Muscle Farm is now. I don't even know if they're still a brand anymore.
It's kind of crazy too, like touching on that, like, isn't it weird how like brands phase out and you're like, wait, like you don't like realize they phase out until you're like looking back at it and you're like, wait, whatever happened to Live Fit, man? Like,
Live Fit, yeah, they're still alive because I still see some of their stuff. But like, I love Live Fit.
Yeah, like,
I still have a pair of their shorts.
I would literally go and like intentionally seek out Live Fit at our like supplement shop in the area.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's crazy how it kind of like phases out with that's kind of with anything. You don't just like wake up one day and be like, oh, that's gone. But it is kind of crazy how it's constantly evolving. But I think, and I think it just comes down to social media and people adapting to, I don't know, just like the style of content that's like hitting.
Yeah.
Because,
which is weird because it changes all the time.
Which it does. It totally does. But I don't know. Like, as a consumer, I would much rather watch videos of like people showing me their splits, like workout splits, because people are also doing splits in the fucking gym, and that is not like that's on my algorithm too. And I'm like, who the fuck's doing this in real life? Like, get out of here. But I don't know, like actual like factual information, things that are going to motivate me, like me watching girls apply their lip gloss in the gym isn't motivating me. And somehow like that's what every girl is doing right now on my For You page, is just like putting on their lip gloss in a mirror and then like I don't give a shit about that. Like, what are you doing? Show me how to lift. Like, I want to be motivated. Otherwise, unless you're promoting the lip gloss, girl, like, do your thing. Like, I don't even know. But that's the content that, like, goes crazy. And, like, that's just what's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because a video of somebody, like, PRing freaking whatever first time after breaking their leg. I don't know. That's more impressive to me. But people don't, like, view that stuff as impressive. Yeah. Which is just like, I don't know. Like, I think the mindset around the fitness industry in general, like, that's all shifting for some reason.
Yeah. And it's frustrating for me too, because like I get scared for my position with like some of the brands that I work with, because that's not what I want the companies I work for to lean into. Like, I don't want to be messaging Sabrina, who's doing splits in the gym, and being like, hey, do you want to rep our product? Like, no, like, get out of here. I want somebody who's going to talk about the product, or who shows like their deadlifts, or like explains, like, they're good on talking on camera. They know what they're talking about. They're not just like some bimbo who, male or female, who is doing some random crap that's going viral. Because that's the thing, like, as soon as you go viral and you get 1 million followers, like, you're going to continue. Keep doing that. Yeah, you're going to continue to
It's a downward spiral from there.
And there are companies, like you said, that lean into those people to get views. And from an outside view in, if you weren't in my position, like, you'd be like, yeah, duh, like, I want the person who gets 10 million views to, like,
over the person
post my product. Like, duh, like, that's easy. I don't want to work with those people because I like authenticity, just like you do. And it makes me scared sometimes, because the people who own the brands that I work for, sometimes I feel like they're going to be like, hey, we need to start leaning into these people because this is what's working for these other brands. I can't do that.
But like, but it depends on what you consider working, you know?
Right.
Like, for now, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, in terms of longevity, like, no, it's not. And
Right.
again, I think that's like the biggest thing is realizing that because, again, like, I think it's one of those things where you have to stay true to who you are. And I think real recognizes real. So, like, those people to me are way more important than like people who will literally just go to a page to see somebody shake their ass in camera.
Right.
And they're not going to ever buy their products. Like, I think
And if they do, it's usually once.
if that, yeah. And like, that's the thing is like, views aren't always like good. And I think we've talked about this with some of the athletes that you've worked with or do work with or whatever, but like you look at a following count, and like that don't mean shit. Like people.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've worked with people with 300,000 followers, and have made 0 sales throughout their entire contract.
Yeah, and like that's what's crazy. But I think that also goes to show like that follower count is like that number doesn't portray like the number of real people that are like actually willing to support them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that building it from an authentic standpoint or with that headset or space or whatever the fuck, I think you get a completely different audience and a real audience and people who actually like, because you have to build that trust like with anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be clear about that when you're in the industry, but I can guarantee you that just based on like what I know with numbers, like there's somebody with 30,000 followers who can make 1 million times more sales than a person with 300,000 would ever even be able to touch.
Oh yeah.
And it's because of literally the personality and like you build it's just a better connection with your followers because they trust you.
Yeah.
It's a much more loyal and intimate like connection.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's like what I really try to stand behind, especially with like building my content, because like I never built my following like with the intention of building my following. I noticed that it was happening at one point. Like I had a couple things just like blow up, and that's when my following just like took off. And I was like, oh, cool. Like this could be actually something that I could do, but never to the point where I was like, how can I get all these followers without like staying true to who I am, I guess. Like I got caught up in it at one point in time. Like there was a good year in my life where like I got really caught up, and it was at the very beginning when like it first started to blow up. Yeah. Until it like really realized, or until I really realized that like it wasn't shit. Like it's not really what it like. Yeah. What it's. Well, it's made out to be.
It's a rush, right? Like you see those numbers and you're like, okay, like. What can I do to like look more official and like.
Yeah, and you get really caught up in it, and it's really hard to not get caught up in it. But then I think after crashing out, like it took me crashing out hard. And honestly, like losing a lot of people in my life because of it, because I was so hyper fixated on like content, what I could do to make the best content, impressing people that I don't even fucking know or care about. Like I got so caught up in just like that life in general. That like it took me crashing out to realize that like I don't want that to be what my following is about. I don't want that to be what my content's about. So I think that's why like building that just by like not trying to build it is, I guess, like the best thing you can do, and that's what I'll always try to do. I don't remember what we were even talking about at the start of this conversation. I think I had an end point to that. But I don't remember what it was.
That's the end point right there.
That's it. I don't even remember what I was saying.
You didn't build your following on trying to impress people, but you got caught up in it because you got hyper fixated on the numbers and you got super excited about keeping those numbers going. I think that happens in a lot of different things, and it's understandable. But it's good that you regrouped and realized that.
Yeah.
Because like if you look at your page now, like it's all.
And I think it needed to happen. Like
Yeah.
I would obviously like am not super excited about like things I've done or things I've said or whatever, but like I think at the end of the day, I'm way more happy with the person it turned me into. And I think that it just had to happen for me to like realize that, because like it's gonna happen for everybody at some point.
Yep.
And that's not just with fitness or content, like that's truly with any life thing, I think. But it got to a point where I realized like I'm not even gonna like fucking like I used to look at my following every single day to see like how many people followed me, how many people unfollowed me. I get like thousands of unfollows a day. Okay, like you have to learn to like not give a shit. Huh?
It's because you're not doing splits in the gym.
I can't twerk. I can't do it. I've tried. Not on camera, but I've tried. No, like I used to, like I said, I used to get so like caught up in that number, and it's like I said, I would much rather just, to me, do what I love to do and just like see what happens. Like for the people that want to see me be a mom and a bodybuilder and a business owner and like whatever, like I'm not going to hold out on who I am because of trying to appeal to a certain type of person.
Yep.
Like that's not it for me. Like if you want to come to my page, great. If you come to my page and you're like, ew, she has a daughter, bye. Then like, fuck off. Like, I don't care. Like, I couldn't be, and it took me so long to like be callous to that though, because I used to get so worked up about like, oh my gosh, like, why am I losing 10 followers today? Like, I would get so worked up over 10 followers. Like, I lost 25,000 followers when I was pregnant. You bitches hate pregnant people. It's sad. But like, I lost so many followers when I was pregnant, and I was like literally depressed about it. Like, and not even about the following, but like because I thought it was like in a testament to like, is that even a word? A testament? What's the word? Am I combining two words?
It was a testament.
It was a testament and testament. It was an and testament.
A testament.
I was like, am I making up a word right now? Like I was literally contributing that to my self-worth. Like it was crazy. So you really have to like in content, I think you really have to ignore, you have to learn to ignore just like the outside shit and really just worry about who you are as a person. And it took me a really long time to do that because I used to get bullied AF on TikTok. These keyboard warriors, and they're brutal out there. But it like took me a really long time to just ignore people's comments. People ask me all the time, like, how do you like not clap back at that, or how do you ignore that? And it really takes the right thing. Like someone has to say like something that hits me just right for me to like even give a shit enough to comment back.
Yeah.
Or they really catch me on a bad day. I don't know, but you have to like learn to just like not care what other people think.
Yep.
Care more about who you are and who you want to be and what you want the world to see. And then just watching what happens. Like, I think it's literally just a combination of all those things, but it's not for all people.
Mm.
And that's why I'm not other people.
Well, I think
I don't even know if there were like really any like main points there, but I could talk about this forever.
Oh yeah, for sure, and we probably will.
I don't even know how long this has been.
I think it's been long enough.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
You're hungry. I know you got questions sent to you, but let's plan for another episode in the next week or less, and we'll get it posted up. We'll answer some of the questions that you got, and we'll get some other ones, and we'll make a little roundabout and bring it back. But
bring it on back. Let us know what you think about the fitness industry.
Yeah, fitness industry content. Let us know if you think that we're just
Dumb.
delusional and stupid idiots.
You guys suck.
But in reality, it's not that serious.
It really isn't that serious. I couldn't care less.
I couldn't either. Are you all bueno?
Good.
You're good? All right, guys. If you haven't already, hit the little subscribe button. Help us out down. I think it's on that side. I think we got it right last time. And if you can like and comment anything at all, even if it's a little smiley face or frowny face, we'll take the frowny face too.
we'll take the thumbs downs and the thumbs ups if you don't care.
Thumbs up would be more preferred. But all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of
Not that serious. It's go time.